Hi everyone.
Hi self-love friends. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Mercedes.
And welcome back to the Self-Love Channel. We are so glad to have you with us today on this beautiful, what is it, Saturday?
One of them days.
Yes, listen, it's been a long week. So welcome.
And we are sipping today.
We are sipping on the Rieme, whatever it is. I'm going to show you this label, but it's good. And it is spiced apple. I got it from the Fresh Market here where we're from, and it was only $1.49. So I was like, I love some apple juju, and it has apple on it, so I had to get it.
Ashley literally texts me at night and she'll be like, I want some apple juice.
Juju, apple juju. But it doesn't taste like apple to me though.
It doesn't.
It kind of smells like it, but as far as the taste goes,
it's very seasonal.
It tastes like spicy, like
cinnamon. What did you
cardamom,
say? Yeah,
and all that good stuff. But
very nice.
It's delicious though, so I'm not complaining. I'm about to
carbonated.
I'm about to sip on up. So
and
we need to quench our thirst.
Non-alcoholic, just in case you guys are wondering.
Okay. It is non-alcoholic. I guess I can deal with that. But anywho, so we want to come to you with a super fun video that is about something that's very, very, I want to say deep to us.
Yeah.
It's really deep. Both of us have been working on this, and we wanted to share with you the how we feel about this topic and some ways that you can go about doing this, like actually implementing this topic. Like, so we're going to talk to you about speaking your truth.
Yes.
So Mercedes,
okay, so I do have my notes because it's a pretty hefty topic.
It is. I have my notes as well, so just work with us. But we got some good juicy stuff for you.
Yes, we do. So with speaking your truth, ultimately you have to have self-acceptance. Okay, so that means you're understanding your truth. Because when you don't understand your truth, ultimately you'll fall for anything. Like, you'll start believing and adopting everybody's principles, and then you wonder why you're confused. So speaking your truth is ultimately having self-acceptance and understanding your truth, and that leads into having self-honesty. So you have to understand what you connect to and what you don't connect to. Now, a lot of us have grown up certain ways, we've adopted certain mentalities, and it's very easy to get locked into all of those things. I don't want to, maybe brainwashing is a poor word, but if something is toxic, it is brainwashing. So with toxic habits, it's really important to get those out of your system as quick as possible, but it takes time.
It's a process.
It is.
Accepting anything is a process, especially if you're not prepared to accept it.
Yeah.
And that's the first step, like, in my opinion.
And sometimes I feel like we can believe certain things that maybe we were taught to believe, or maybe the world believes it, and we go against it. Our nature goes against it. So ultimately your body will tell you when you don't connect to something, and that can come out in many different forms. It might come out in the form of anger, sadness, depression, anxiety. We wonder why we have all these mental illnesses. What are you connected to that doesn't belong to you? So we have to figure those things out.
I definitely agree. Definitely. And to kind of piggyback on what you said about, we're so, let's say, brainwashed, because a lot of us are. You look fancy. Fancy. But a lot of us, I feel like, are a little bit brainwashed into thinking things are wrong with us. Like, because I'm an oddball a little bit, or what people would think is being an outcast or a weirdo, you think something is wrong with you, and I think that is beautiful. I think people that are unique and stick out and is not going with the crowd, or just trying to fit in, eccentric people, and I feel like a lot of them have that self-acceptance, the ones that live that, and they've admitted to themselves that, hey, I'm different, and that's okay. Like, I don't mind being different, and I actually like it. But the first step to that is admitting to yourself that you are different, or you just don't necessarily fit in.
Yeah, and then like your logic and truth will end up crashing eventually. And that's where all those different illnesses in the mind come from. So logically you might see things a certain way, but then your truth, what you feel on the inside is different. So what's a good example, Ash? Let's just say maybe you grew up believing that it was healthy for people to argue. And you get in your relationship now, any relationship, a friendship, a partnership, and you think arguing is the way to go. But maybe that other person doesn't function like that, and now you guys can't coincide because, you know, that's not the way they function. So I believe ultimately when your logic and your truth crashes, maybe it's time to pull it back so you can start to understand it fully.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that also goes with how people, what they saw growing up too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of trauma stems from the childhood.
Yeah.
So if you say you saw your parents or something like getting into it and fighting a lot, or maybe you saw your dad or your mom accusing the other one of cheating or whatever it might be, you might think that is, even though logically you know that it's not right, but at the same time that's all you've seen.
Yeah, so it's kind of like embedded in you now. So it's like you have, and it's so heavy, like you have to dig all that stuff up, like that's years and years and years. And then not only did you see certain things in your childhood possibly, but now like you're in relationships, and now we have these 5-year relationships, and we're carrying stuff from those relationships. So we never even unpacked the first bag. So imagine going to the airport with 20 bags. Like that's just
different airport. You keep packing them on as you go. Grabbing more bags and not getting rid of the other ones, or it's kind of like decluttering your life too. Yeah, like declutter your mind. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, and it can be a heavy task, especially depending on how far it's gotten. Yeah, like if you've never experienced like self-preservation or trying to grow necessarily. If you've never experienced that and you're trying for the first time, don't feel like something's wrong with you just because it's been 2 years of you practicing this and you still don't have a hold on it. If you're 30 years old and you've been practicing for 2 years, you have at least a good 27 years of brainwashing. So 2 years is not going to cover 27 years. No. It's pretty much a lifelong task, but it's great to fight because you do get better over time. It's just we have to not be so hard on ourselves.
Yes, the point is that at least you are trying to, but it takes work. It's just like, for example, you get out of a relationship and let's say 6 months down the line, you think you're over that person, but then all of a sudden you feel like you're not. All of that work, like, and you're thinking to yourself, I put in so much work trying to heal and try to forget the person and this, that, and another. Now I miss him again. What am I doing wrong? You are doing absolutely nothing wrong. It takes time. You're human, and it takes time to heal from trauma and certain things that happen in our lives. But don't beat yourself. Like Mercedes said, be gentle with yourself and don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, and I do believe it is a way to express your truth in a healthy way versus a toxic way. And sometimes all we know is toxicity. Yeah. So that's another thing to work on as well. And it maybe sounds like a lot, but if you can just narrow it down, just work on maybe 1 or 2 things at a time. If you notice you don't express yourself necessarily in a healthy way, then figure out what triggers you so you can understand how to pull it back. And figure out how to not put yourself in those situations. We can't avoid bad things happening. Yeah. But we can figure out how to respond to it. I heard that life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it.
How we react to it, yeah.
So we have to figure out how we want to respond. And I was listening to something earlier that really inspired me. His name is Rob Dow on the Mentor Mindset.
I really like that, the Mentor Mindset.
Yeah. And what he was just saying is I have to break up with myself. Yeah. You have to figure out who you want to be. So
that's actually a good point. Like I was even thinking like people that express like act out in maybe unhealthy ways or don't know how to necessarily speak their truth, or it might come out as toxic. how about you try, like, even, well, how would you like someone to respond to you with a certain matter? Like, maybe try writing it out, how you would prefer to respond, because we often know that, okay, this is wrong, I lashed out in the wrong way, and we can figure out, okay, how would I have rather done it? Write that down and practice that for the next time, or embed that in yourself and your mental for the next time.
Yeah, and even if, let's just say, you have been doing the same thing, let's just say you're with someone, and for the last 20 arguments, that's a lot, y'all, but it happens, like couples,
been together for a long time.
Yeah. But let's just say the last 20 arguments, you're still responding the exact same way, maybe. Yeah. What's ways that, like, people can dig a little deeper? Like, digging a little deeper within yourself.
I feel like you have to just maybe start asking yourself certain questions.
That's a good one.
Like, okay, like earlier you said, what triggers this? Why do I do this? What do I want my outcome to be from this? Do you think you're going to successfully get that outcome? Or, just, I feel like just start asking yourself questions.
You know what I feel drives unhealthy behavior? Ultimately, the way we respond, I feel like it's out of some kind of fear. So just figure out what those fears are. And it's easy to be like, okay, so you have to understand that things are going to work out the way they're going to work out. And there's nothing we can do about it. And we'll recover. We'll bounce back no matter how it goes. Things aren't always going to go the way we want them to go.
At all.
So it's easier said than done. I know that's cliche. But I feel like we should start digging into why we have those fears and then maybe start trying to release those fears.
Yeah. Fear is a powerful word too.
Yeah,
but we just don't realize how many fears that we actually have on a daily basis that we ignore. Fear of failing. Fear of a failed relationship. Failed is another powerful word, because I feel like that's hand in hand with fear. Failure and fear. That's all what it boils down to.
Ash. You know what I want to do right now? Okay. If you want to be vulnerable right now.
Oh gosh.
Maybe we can list like 3 things we're fearful of.
Oh, okay. I'm down. Okay.
We can go 1 and 1.
Okay.
We get 3.
Okay.
1 and 1.
So one of my fears is not doing what I love to do. And waking up every day to a job that I absolutely hate. I don't care how much money I'm getting paid. A big fear of mine is working a job till I'm 60-something years old and I hate it.
It's like selling your soul.
Yes, that's definitely a fear of mine. Like, for real. What about you? What's one of yours?
Never being married.
Okay.
And I just I remember as a little girl, like, playing with Barbie dolls and like Barbie and Ken, like, always, being together. And my parents, they were together, for a while and had stepdads, stepmoms, but I never saw anything last. And I want that. Like, I want a strong union. Yeah. Because there's power in it. Like, it's so much power. Like, sticking together and being one, it's so much power. And I feel like if I can keep working on myself and just let things be, I'll have it. But I feel like I'm gonna step in my own way with it. So that's one.
And we need relationships.
Yeah.
Healthy relationships is healthy for us to interact with people. That's why we were put here. And that goes to my number 2 of my fear is I won't necessarily say marriage, but not finding someone that I genuinely connect with. Because right now, I mean, like, I have my lovely and I have friends or whatever, but like, not finding a boyfriend that I connect with, that's a fear of mine, because I've been single for a minute, and I don't be liking nobody like that.
She really don't.
Like, seriously, like, so, and I want that strong union, like you said. It's very healthy, and it's good to have somebody that you can work with and grow with, and and help each other just evolve. I really want that. So that's a fear that I won't have that.
Yeah. Okay. So my second one goes along with this video. It's not being comfortable with fully expressing myself. Like, I express myself, but sometimes I second guess myself a little too much. And I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. Like, I hear the older you get, the more you don't care. So maybe that'll kick in. I don't know. But like, not fully expressing myself and accepting that I'm expressing myself. Like, I can express myself now, but sometimes I'll question, am I to this or that? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, people could either vibe with it or they don't.
And I think mine kind of go with yours, but one of my fears also, and this is, I can't think of many more, this is probably the legit last one, is not truly being out of the mindset of caring about what other people think. Like, I want to master not giving a solid. And I feel like I'm really there. Like, this YouTube journey has been helping me out tremendously with breaking those barriers as far as just F it. I'ma post it. Whoever like it, it is what it is. Who don't like it, I do not care. But this is about me and about us and growth in this journey, and we want to reach people, and so this is helping me, but I want to completely master that, and I feel like I will, but it's a fear that what if I never do? But I have faith in myself that I will.
Yes. Well, I would say my last one is parenting. I haven't had any children, so just like, what kind of parent will I be? Like, I had pretty decent parents.
Good one.
But it's like I had good parents and I still have my issues, and I know we're all people and it happens, but I just, like, raising a little person, that seems so scary to me.
Oh, girl, what you say? Like, I'm at a point where I don't even know if I want kids. Yeah, but raising a little one is scary, but I think it's well worth it in the end. I think so. Yeah. It's a learning process.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, so that was a little moment of vulnerability, but I'm open to
and
it.
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, give you a little insight on us.
Yeah, find you guys a friend that you can go over that or do that exercise with. Like, maybe it could be your spouse, maybe your best friend, like.
I won't say anybody, but
because everybody got your back.
Yeah, somebody that you trust. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to actually. Do you have anything else that you would like to say?
So I'm gonna hand the mic over to Ash.
So I'm going to give you a few pointers or tips that you can use to kind of help you with speaking your truth, because we know the reasons why, but the next question is how do I go about doing it? I'm too nervous, I'm scared, y'all, I don't know about how I'm supposed to go about that. So I'll just give you a few little reasons. The first thing that I want to tell you is you have to admit it to yourself first. You have to admit that truth, because if you don't admit it, you can't express it and you can't speak it.
That's true.
So just be sure that you're ready to admit something, some sort of truth about what might be going on in your life. It might be, in perfect example, I love my parents. Now, and I'm not talking about me personally, this is just a statement I'm making, but this could be someone else's truth. I love my parents, but I do not like them.
I heard that for the first time. I was like, what?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you can. It's okay to say that.
It's
that's
okay.
How you feel,
It is okay. Like, a lot of people go through that where, my mom and my dad is a total, but they family. So that's number one. You have to at least admit it to yourself first.
Yes.
Okay. So next tip. Practice speaking your own truth to yourself out loud with no one else around. Whenever you do admit it to yourself, just practice saying it until you feel like a mantra, until you feel comfortable, or an affirmation maybe, until you feel comfortable with saying it.
Okay.
Because that's important. That okay, now I know what it is, but how can I release that or speak that, or even you can write it down in a journal if you're not ready for that step. yet, but at least get it out of your system in some sort of way that's not, to people that you might not trust. Yeah. And this is going to go along with the next tip is practicing with a friend or a family member that you do trust, because it will become easier with time. But that's definitely, like, I know me and Mercedes both, like, we pour into each other our truths, but it helps make it a little bit easier to express it to someone else how we're actually feeling. So next tip is, if you feel angry, sad, or uncomfortable in any sort of way, don't be around that. Like, admit that to yourself, because that's also a part of speaking your truth. Okay, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like this. It doesn't matter that he or she is trying to make me feel differently. It's uncomfortable to me, and I don't like it, or it makes me sad, or it makes me angry. Don't be scared to admit that, even to the other person. And this goes with my next tip of advice, is to stop wishing to be in control of other people's feelings. Because that's for real, because that can hinder you speaking your truth. Is if you care about what Sally Mae and Billy and Billie Jean and how they gonna feel. Right. Girl, I ain't gonna say what I might get caught up. Right. I might get caught up out here.
Don't hit the credit.
We ain't gonna see. Yeah, I'm gonna pay y'all
one day.
All right.
The YouTube money.
I'm gonna start crying. Please kick in, cause okay.
That was a little too funny.
I'm over here crying. Like, Sally Mae, I hope you're not watching right now. That's all I gotta say. I paid y'all. Okay, but you're crazy. Get out. No. But yeah, just you can't control other people and their feelings, and if you live life constantly worrying about other people's feelings, or how they might feel about something, or how they might feel about how you feel, and it don't even matter because it's how you feel. I hope that didn't confuse you.
Not just it's not confusing.
Okay, I hope it didn't.
It's a bad cycle.
Yes, it's a real bad cycle. So just that's the number one thing I feel like a lot of people struggle with. And even myself, sometimes I'm definitely getting better, but I'm not saying go out and make people feel bad for no reason at all.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't be a dickwad, okay?
Don't suck.
I'm gonna go to the next one.
You're having too much fun.
Right, with that one.
My back hurt.
Your back hurting, girl. Your back hurting, girl. Okay. So, that's better too.
I need a pillow, Ash.
I like it when you do that. So, I'm gonna just go ahead and ease it to that next one.
Oh, Jesus.
This one I'm not gonna elaborate on too much. It's kind of self-explanatory, but being real and honest does not have to mean you are always right. Being real and honest about how you feel about something doesn't mean it's gonna be right or wrong, and we have to learn to accept that. Like, just be real. Like, be open-minded. Especially if someone asks you something, don't tell them what you think sounds good or what you think they want to hear. They asked you for a reason.
Or what your truth is.
Yeah, like, or how you feel.
Not other people's truth.
That
would be a boring world.
That would be a boring world. We all have our own truth. And I think I just covered this. When someone asks your preference on something, just tell them. That's a good practice to have. If they say, hey, how's my hair to you? And you're like,
hopefully they don't ask if they know.
Hopefully they don't ask if they know, but just we have to start being real and honest, okay? Because before you speak your truth, how you gonna speak your truth and you fake and lie and don't tell the truth to everybody else? All right, so when you do finally get to the point where you are ready to speak your truth, be clear about it, because we don't need any misunderstandings. And please be sober, because that's where the misunderstandings come from. Listen, because when you drunk or when you hot or sleepy, you're not very clear, and now somebody ready to fight you, or just be clear when you do get ready to finally speak your truth, and try not to come off attacking someone with your truth. When you do,
I think we have to learn too, like, not to be offended so easily, like, by other people's truth.
We do have to learn how to do that.
That's poison.
But people are so sensitive.
Yeah.
And we got to stop caring about that though too, about people being sensitive about it. But I feel like it also goes with, expressing yourself, like learning how to express yourself in a non-toxic way.
Right.
Kind of.
It is.
Okay. But yeah, don't be drunk trying to tell somebody or talk about your truth. Just be sober and clear. No misunderstandings. And we just talked about this, but know that other people will have their version of their truth. Yeah, so
and we can't fight people on that.
We sure can't.
Like, if you are, you should stop trying, because you're gonna be miserable.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Just admit your truth and do however they feel. Let them feel that way. They're not you. They're a different type of person. And we can't
be telling people how to live.
Yeah, we can't control that.
If they ask you, then cool. And I want to cover one more thing too.
Okay.
Like, going back and forth with people. Like, once they've expressed their truth and you've expressed yours, and let's just say it doesn't line up or you don't agree necessarily, it's very toxic to keep going back and forth. Like, take time to cool down and to really. I feel like when we get offended, we stop hearing the truth. So we
start trying to prove ours. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we
start
try to prove our point.
We stop listening to another person's. Like, it could be all kinds of truth in theirs, but we don't want to hear it anymore because we're either offended or so it just, we don't hear it anymore. So we have to, when we do get to that point, because it happens, we have to be able to recover and be like, okay, look, I'm sorry. Give a sincere apology. Like, don't say, I'm sorry, but you're an a-hole. like what kind of apology is
but
that?
I was right.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but I'm still right.
I'm sorry, but you did this to make me feel like this. Like, be genuine. Just be like, I'm sorry. Whatever your statement is. And people know in their heart when they wrong or when they trying to get off. Like, people understand that kind of stuff. They just might not want to admit it because of pride or the ego or whatever. But you just be the best that you can be, and your character will develop in amazing ways, and you'll see the elevation in your life because of it.
And one more thing. This is skipping subjects a little bit, but this goes to like arguing back and forth with somebody, and we actually want to prevent that before it even happens.
That's hard sometimes.
It's very hard.
But it happens.
But something that I have been practicing, I've read this in a book somewhere, that when you and someone, I was looking at the same thing on my elbows. I was like, bro, that's why I'm trying to hold it down.
You get checked in Memphis all day.
Right. Every pat on you. Okay. Anyways, but right. Dang. Okay. But girl, I forgot where I was going. No. We want to prevent it. So something that I've been practicing and I've read in a book here recently is that when you and someone disagree about anything, or when someone pisses you the crap off, try before snapping off to give yourself time before you respond, because then you give yourself time to think. If you have to separate yourself from that person, like go in a separate room or go out in the car or whatever you got to do just to get your mind together before you respond, you think things more clearly a little bit more when you just give it 24 hours. Give it to the next day. If you can, give it to that long.
Hour,
like just anything. And you and that person, like if it's a partner, it could have like maybe a safe word. I know this is so off topic, but I feel like it could kind of help someone.
I believe so.
y'all can have a safe word to where
safe words are good.
Like if you see, okay, this is getting super heated, if you are able to snap your mind back and say it's pineapples. What was that, Kevin Hart?
That's their sex.
That's their
sex
safe word. But just develop something to where you both can realize, okay, it's getting to a point where if we couldn't prevent it before, we're about to overstep boundaries.
Right, exactly. You start saying things you don't
mean. Yeah, like give yourself time to think about the situation or what the person might have said or you might have said.
And then, like, I don't agree with going to bed like mad at each other. It might happen sometimes, but also another thing, when you do step in the other room, like Ashley was saying, don't start thinking of all the reasons why you're right. like it's either your ego or your relationship, but you cannot have both.
Yeah,
so you have to realize, like, when you're in the other room, calm down a little bit, because when you calm down, your partner's gonna calm down. Be like, baby, I'm sorry.
And look at it from their point of view.
Yeah, I see what you were saying about that. I was over talking you. I cut you off a couple times. Yeah. Admit your wrongs and hug each other. Hug it out. Like, I know that's hard when it's heated, but it's like if you can bring yourself down enough, like do a little, like for me, like praying and meditating, that helps me calm down. Listening to a little FKJ, like just calm yourself down enough. Don't go do no drugs or no alcohol. You don't want to do that.
No weed, I guess. No alcohol. Because trust me, once you drink the sip of that alcohol, you're going to be in your feelings. And, it's going to go left. So, yes, find other ways to mentally stimulate yourself. But I really like what she said about not going to bed angry at your partner, or with not even your partner, like even a friend, like, or a sibling. Like, hash it out before the next day if you can. Like, just I know it seemed hard. Maybe to me it's a little bit easy for me to be like, okay, let me sit and let me, think about this from the other person's perspective. When you go in there, if you have to separate yourself in a different room, don't, like she said, don't go in there thinking about all the ways you are right and I can't believe he got me effed up or she got me effed up. Try to look at it, okay, so how are they feeling? Like, what did I possibly say or do that triggered this? So
because if you win, y'all don't win together.
Nah,
and that's a problem.
You
really didn't win.
No, you lost. If your partner lose, you lost.
Yep.
As well. Y'all both not winning until y'all both at an agreement and then overcame that issue.
And let's just say it's like, maybe it's somebody that you're very close to. You guys aren't around each other all the time, but y'all just can't see eye to eye. Like, maybe just the egos are in the way, and maybe y'all do get to a point where y'all just can't talk. Start focusing on, like, why you love that person, because y'all are probably gonna talk again at some point. But one thing I think it'll be healthy to do with anybody that you're close with, and maybe you fight a lot with them, write down 15 to 20 things that you love and admire about that person.
I was just thinking about
because
that.
Like the 2 to 5 things, maybe it's 10 if it's bad. Like those things that you don't like, do they overshadow the good though? Like, what built that relationship? Figure that out again, because sometimes we can just see so much bad that we don't remember the good, and that's not healthy, because we don't, like, we all have flaws. If somebody was to look at us from our bad characteristics, then we wouldn't have anybody. So we have to, like, let's write lists down. Let's start remembering why we love who we love and cherish those things, because at the end of the day, love is what matters. And if that person was to go away, you would be sad.
You'd be sad. Like, maybe try to write a love letter. That's why I like that. I was gonna suggest that, and I like her idea. Yeah, like maybe write a love letter to them about, just talking about how maybe you felt the first time that both of you met, and piggyback on what you love about the person, why you are here now with this person, and give it to them. And write a nice, lovely love letter and give it to them.
And if they're at a point where they're rejecting you, I know it's easier said than done maybe to say don't take it personal, but we all have to realize that people going through their own thing. It's not just what they're going through with you, but it's a list long of other stuff, and sometimes they could just be maybe taking some of that extra stuff out on you. Like, so just try to keep the love in your heart at all costs.
Girl, I'm smiling, and I'm smiling because I feel like we just gave a whole relationship 101 segment. A real deal. I think it went to right. I was thinking the same thing. Is this a podcast? We done went off into relationships, but I think that's good. I think someone does need to hear that. Maybe that's how we got on that subject. That maybe energy is strong out there, and somebody needs to hear that from this video.
It all goes together.
It does all go together. Yeah, definitely does.
And then who better to talk about it with than your best friend? So get you a group of friends. Like,
about to knock this over.
Get you some friends and y'all talk it out.
Yeah, for real. Friends, she like being able to talk to her has been life-saving. She has talked me out of.
Girl, just like yesterday with me. Pick up the phone, Ashley.
Girl, like I think we didn't talk each other out of some stuff, like, okay? Stalking the nigga. Nah. I'm about to be in his truck in a minute.
I'm coming, no.
But that's pretty much all we have on Speaking Your Truth. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much. I hope you all like this video.
I know you will. And if you want us to start a podcast, say the word.
We will start one for you, okay? But yes, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that. Take notes. Comment. Go around the store and the grocery store showing everybody our videos. Tra-la-la. Jiggly. Oh, y'all see my shirt? Oh, yeah. And Martin. Okay. All right, y'all. Again, thanks you guys. And we hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye.